Today I'm talking about dog training, but more specifically positive reinforcement with dog training. So a couple of statistics to start us off. Approximately 78 million dogs are owned in U.S. households. Dogs are constantly rehomed, obviously. Like sometimes people adopt them and just can't keep them. But through a ASPCA National Rehoming Survey, 47% of the reason for that is usually due to pet problems, which is classified as a problematic or aggressive behavior. They grew too large, or they had like health issues that they just didn't want to, deal with, I guess. And due to like overcrowding in shelters, 670,000 dogs are euthanized per year, and that's a pretty scary number. So just before I get into my spiel, I just want to show my credibility. So I've pretty much grown up with dogs my whole life. I'm gonna point them out. The four, like these two, and I mean she's down there again, but there's two more down there. Those are my parents' dogs. And then this is the puppy I got for Christmas this past year. She doesn't look like that anymore. You'll see later in the presentation. But basically, I just wanted to make sure you guys know, like, I'm not just talking about this without any background. I've been around dogs kind of my whole life. So today, I'm specifically going to teach you about, with positive reinforcement, how you can train dogs to do, like, basic tricks, like sit down and make them shake paws, stuff like that. How to break their biting habits, because that's the number one thing. When you get a puppy, you'll instantly know they chew everything, your hand, shoes, anything really. So you have to kind of train them to not do that. And then also how to walk on a leash. That is a very important, skill. Obviously, some people like to just train them how to just stay and come, just through their voice, but I find that very difficult. And so basically, I was able to use positive reinforcement on Lily right there, and she took to it very nicely within like a couple weeks, and now she's much better trained than when I first got her. Oh, sorry, I should have switched that. So, okay, now when you think about basic traits, what comes to mind? I already said it, I'm sorry. So, okay, so before I start showing some videos, I just want to point out that according to Pia Silvani, a certified dog trainer at St. Hubert's Animal Welfare Center in Madison, New Jersey, she said, positive reinforcement training has been proven to enhance relationship between dog and owner. When you learn creative ways to motivate your dog, you eliminate a lot of behavioral problems and have a much healthier relationship with your dog. So that's why I'm preaching on this, because it's a lot better of a way than using like fear tactics. Like I know my older brother, he has two dogs, and he prefers to take the route of he's not abusing them, but like hitting them and yelling at them instead of just like giving them treats and teaching them how to do things the right way, rather than negatively disciplining them for doing the wrong things. So we have a different approach there, but that's what an expert had to say. So I have 3 short clips. They're like 5 seconds, 8 seconds each, just showing you that by positive reinforcement, I mean like using treats, toys, stuff like that. So this is my dog sitting. If it wants to play. Fantastic. It doesn't want to play. Why did it play?
Sit. Sit.
Okay, so let's see. Alright, so that was her showing off her sitting skills. She was kind of being mean at first. She wanted to jump on me, but she got it. So this is her laying down.
Down.
She thought I wanted her paw, because I actually did it in I did it in reverse order. I had her shake before I did the paw, so she thought I wanted that again. So this was actually kind of hard to record because I realized I had my phone in one hand, the treat, and the other. I was like, oh, which hand do I have her shake? So looks a little weird, buddy.
She.
I'll just shake her hand. So those are just, you know, some basic tricks that you can teach your dog pretty quickly just through the use of treats and toys and stuff like that, that just lets them know they're doing something right. So now I'm gonna move into talking about breaking their biting habits because, as I said previously, it is a major problem when you first get a dog. So right here, a statistic from the American Veterinary Medical Association, approximately 20 deaths from dog bites happen per year, and the most common just victims of dog bites, not fatally, are kids, elderly people, and I know it seems like a joke, but actually like male men, male women, they are frequent victims of dog bites. So a fact that I found from the ASPCA, it says puppies can learn how to be gentle with each other through play with other puppies. They'll nip each other, and a lot of times people think they're actually like fighting and being aggressive, and they're not. That's just how they play. It's how they, if they had siblings when they were born, I mean, that's just what they've known. And the way they learn is because if one bites the other too hard, they like yelp. And that kind of like alerts them and scares them almost to be like, okay, I did that too hard. And so this teaches how to control biting, and similar habits can be used to train them, like with people, because so like if your dog's biting you, you can you almost do the same thing. You almost like you yelp, or you like kind of act like you actually hurt. You like turn away from them, and instead of like continuing to try to play, they act concerned. And they'll like sit down or something like that and stop doing it. And luckily, one of my roommates also has a dog, so my dog has gotten a lot of training through playing with him. She tends to be surprisingly the more aggressive one, even though she's like, you know, this big. Sorry, you can't see it. I guess like if this was the surface, like this big, and other dogs like that big. So she, I don't know, she tries to be aggressive with him, but she shouldn't. But yeah, so basically if you use like the same habits that they use with each other, you can train your dog not to bite people, which obviously is very important because a lot of this rehoming and happens because of bad habits such as biting, which very easily can be trained to not do. And so the next, oh sorry, how I wrote that. Just kind of explain that again. I'm sorry, I'm really bad with slides. But that's like an example, like if she's biting me, instead of like hitting her or something like that, because that shows that I'm like playing with her almost, you just give her something she's allowed to chew on. So like a rope toy or a bone, and she chews on that instead. Okay, so now we're gonna move into leash walking. So this is from the Kathy Santo, the dog training expert and columnist for the American Kennel Club. She said, many people think that dogs innately know how to walk politely on a leash, but this skill needs to be trained. Fortunately, it's one of the easier skills to teach a puppy. So as she stated, a lot of people, they get a dog and they just think like, oh yeah, he'll just walk good on his own. And a lot of times, first off, that happens. I know it looks cute, but they start biting on their leash right when you put it on them, and you have to kind of quickly teach them not to do that. Again, you give them something else to play with, or they start pulling a lot. And usually it's usually due to outside stimuli such as another dog, or they smell something, or they want to, or another person. My dog loves to go up to people and get attention. So you have to kind of train them by, so basically you have them sit, like you use those skills that you learn, or that you show them, and you have them sit, and then you like give them a treat, and you like walk, and then if they start acting up again, you kind of repeat the cycle. And this was something that I found from a scholarly article from veterinary medicine. Basically, as I was saying, you repeat the cycle of giving them a treat, having them sit, because you want them to like stop being distracted, and just you keep doing this at like longer distances until they eventually just like they don't really get distracted by stuff. I'm still working on that currently, but she's not chewing on her leash, and she doesn't really pull as much. She just likes to sniff stuff and get attention from other people, which I guess it's not a bad thing that she likes attention, but it can be kind of annoying sometimes. So those are my references. In conclusion, with positive reinforcement, you can master these 3 basic skills in just a few days to a couple weeks. Positive reinforcement is the best way to ensure a healthy relationship with your dog. And with positive reinforcement, you can feel confident in your ability to teach basic tricks, get them to stop biting, and how to walk properly on a leash. And now that you know positive reinforcement training basics, you can go and create memories like these with a puppy of your own. That is all.
Any questions or comments?
What kind of dog you got?
She's a terrier, Shih Tzu, and Lab mix.
That tail's pretty funny. It does this, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then her ears, as you saw, were
Right.
very much like this, and now they're straight
I know.
up.
Is she, how old is she right now?
She is about 6 months old now.
Oh, okay.
I have a question.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so, I was told that when babies bite, you're supposed to like bite them back a little bit so that they know that like, hey, it hurts, back off.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying that if you bite your dog back, they would see it as like a plaything, or would they see it as a, okay, I'll chill out and stop?
So dogs usually learn, when they're the aggressor, like especially with other dogs and then with yourself as well, like if they hurt the other dog and it like cries, like yelps, like as if it hurt, the dog kind of like, okay, I did that too hard. And it's the same thing with people. Like if your dog's biting your hand, you just kind of pull it away, like almost yelp, try to imitate a dog, or just like kind of turn away from them, and they realize, okay, that's not play. I hurt them. I need to like tone it down a little bit. And it's just like, again, it's not, they're not gonna instantly know it off the first time, but they kind of learn it over time.
Did you read where you, I've never ever heard that you're supposed, that you bite a baby back? Or, did you read that?
No, someone in my family said it, actually.
Oh, good
I was like,
Lord.
that's really weird.
I would never ever do that. I wouldn't bite a puppy back either. I don't know whether they'd understand that or not. Yeah.
I'm planning to get like 2 like decent sized Rottweilers in the future. Like, does all this stuff like work for like large aggressive breeds too?
Are you getting them like young, like as puppies?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, I mean, usually it's a lot easier with puppies because they don't have any previous like experiences. Like when you get like an older dog, obviously they already have stuff kind of trained into them, whether it be good or bad. So if you just start on it from like day 1, it usually it should work.
Alright.
It just might take a little extra time.
Have you got a lot of time to run those dogs? Because you're going to need to exercise that breed a lot every day.
I've had like my family kind of, they don't breed dogs, but they got like dogs.
So you walk them and run them every day?
Mhm.
Because I have 3 months and we can do 2 miles every day and that's still not enough.
Yeah.
I was going to say, being a responsible pet owner, have you signed your dog up to be spayed yet?
Oh yeah, she already did that.
Good. We know we have to spay and neuter, right, everybody?
Yeah.
Sorry, but I just had to get that in. Because you gave that statistic of how many animals are in shelters right now because
Yeah.
people don't spay and neuter. You know something else, and I don't want to get off on this too much, but you mentioned you're having Rottweilers. I have a German Shepherd mix. And do you know that one of the insurance companies that we used to go with asked me about my German Shepherd, and they were going to drop our policy because of that?
You have to get insurance
Yeah, isn't that weird? I think it was State Farm or somebody, and we said, she's a German Shepherd mix. It's not like, you know, she's gonna go out, she's not a dog that's one of these serious, mean, ready to, you know, attack, police trained German Shepherd. Yeah, well, pit bulls have a real, they really do the insurance thing on that. That's what I'm saying, but it's, the stereotypes with insurance is horrible.
Yeah.
It really is.
My brother has to lie about, he has a lab pit bull mix, so he
Right.
has to lie that it's not.
It's not got any pit bull in it, I know. That's so bad. Because you can get a mean dog out of any breed if you just want to.